There was this gentleman who had been teaching Islam for 26 years, listening to me go and unpack his Quran. And so I said, let's go to Surah 9, Ayah 29. Then I said, let's go to Surah 839. Besiege the idolaters until they pay homage to Allah. Surah 47, Ayah 4. I opened that one up. Surah 47, Ayah 4 says, cut off the heads of the unbelievers. I said, that's pretty violent. You're to cut off my heads. 2 verses later, in verse 6, it says, and those who participate in jihad, whether they should die or whether they should live, great is their reward in heaven, in paradise. It's the only verse. Actually, there's one other verse in the Quran. There's one, Surah 4, Ayah 76 also says the same thing. They're the only 2 verses that actually stipulate that if you die, doesn't matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter what you did before that, if you should die while in the cause of Allah, you will go straight to heaven. In fact, I don't know if you remember, but a number of days ago I said that there's no way that any Muslim can be assured of salvation. Those 2 verses say you can be assured of salvation in only one way, and that is if you should die for Allah. Now can you see why there's so many young Muslim men who are volunteering to die for Allah all over the world? Because this is one way they can get directly to heaven. Now, get beyond that. I said I went to other verses as well. I went to a whole litany of verses. Surah 4, Ayah 34, Surah 5, Ayah 38, where men can beat their wives or their hands can be cut off. I went to Surah 24, Ayah 2, where it says you can lash the adulterers. And I just started using all these verses. And I looked then over at my opponent, this Muslim man who'd been teaching for 26 years. He was looking down at his feet. When it was his turn to speak, he never once touched the Quran. He didn't even lift it up. Yet that was the one book he had brought with him. That was the one book that he was going to use to support what he was going to debate, to support this idea of peace. He didn't even touch that book. And you can see why. How can you touch this book? How can you even debate from it with verses like that? Verse after verse after verse after verse after verse. All of them talking about violence.